Okay, we're here to look at graphing the function y equals sine x for minus 2 pi radians up to 2 pi radians. If we see our graph here, we have our radians along the x-axis and y-axis as it is. So you have to remember now that all of this information, the information that we're using here today, is found on page 13 of your maths tables. Sine, cosine, tan values are all there given in both radians and degrees. So if we're just going to try and I'm just going to try and plot some of the basic ones, and then we'll show you the graph at the very end. So this is basically what you would do to sketch this graph yourself. So you start off with the lowest value, which is minus 2 pi radians. The sine of minus 2 pi, so 2 pi is the equivalent of 360 degrees, which is also 0 degrees. So looking at your tables, you see that the value of that is 0. So a blue dot there represents that value. Then we're moving on to minus 3 pi over 2, which is minus 270 degrees, and we see that the value of that from our table is 1. So we put a dot above that across from 1. Moving across, then we have minus pi, which is minus 180 degrees, and that is also 0. And then the next one is sine of minus pi over 2, which from our tables we see that it is minus 90, which gives us a value of minus 1. So you can see there's a pattern emerging here now, so it's going up and returning down to a negative value. So we'll continue on. Sine of 0 is the same as sine of 2 pi, sine of minus 2 pi. Moving on to the right, sine of pi over 2 is 1, sine of pi is 0, sine of 3 pi over 2 is minus 1, and sine of 2 pi is 0. So you can see there the blue dot started at 0, returned to 0, down to minus 1, 0, 1, 0, minus 1, 0. So if we sketch the line joining those up, a curve, this graph, you're actually plotting the graph of the function y equals sine x. So just tick this box here. Now we haven't just stopped at minus 2 pi or 2 pi, even though that's all we've been asked for, but I just want to demonstrate the fact that it's a continuous curve. It just doesn't start and stop at those points. It does actually continue on to infinity. So once you've plotted those kind of the core points, then you would join those up with that type of curve. Now we'll see that the range is basically how low and how high on the y-axis it goes. So the range of sine is minus 1 to 1. And the period is basically when does it start repeating itself. If I cut it here at 0, when does it start? So if I follow along, when does this go back to 0 and start following the same path again? So I see that starts at 2 pi, which makes sense because it has done a full circular rotation, and then it repeats itself as far as 4 pi, which is another circle, as far as 6 pi, and so on like that. And then the same going towards the negative side, minus 2 pi, minus 4 pi. So the period is 2 pi, the range is minus 1 to 1.